What's up, superstars? I know how much you miss these videos. So we're gonna do motorcycle summer bike preparation videos. So it's pretty cool. It's just basic stuff. You know me, I'm not the best mechanic in the world, but I'll always put my hand to something. It's really basic. It's easy. All the bits that I'll do anyway. So we'll do the oil change today. I don't know if I'll get the whole video. Well, I won't release the whole video, obviously, without completing the whole oil change. But depending on the time I get, back to the bike, so what I'll do is I'll probably start draining the oil. Now I might get back to it a couple of hours later. Got a few things I've got to do today and stuff. But the weather is really starting to perk up here in the UK. So I've missed a couple of potential riding days. So I want to get on it now, really. So what I'll do today is, oil change. Should be quick. I'll also show you spark plugs. We'll check the chain, make sure it's okay. Might need adjusting. But one of the biggest things I've ever found when riding, when I first started riding, is correct tire pressures. So you want to check those before you take your bike out, because 100% they won't be right by the time it's summer. If you put yours away, if you're a fair weather rider like me, because I do not ride in the freezing cold and stuff. There's literally no joy in that. I ride my bike purely for enjoyment, not to be frozen. Like, it's not an A to B thing for me. I've got a car too, so it is what it is. So we'll do the oil change today. I'll show you the filter, part numbers. They changed the part number, I think, on the oil filter for my bike in particular. So you can do it this way. You can either look at your oil filter that you've got, like try and get an eye on it and see like what the part number is on the filter. Sometimes counterintuitive, because you don't want to take the whole bike apart and then take half the oil filter off and then leave the job half done. Some people just like to get it all done at once. I'm pretty much like that too. But the internet's a wealth of knowledge. So you've got Google, you've got your owner's manual and stuff like that, so you can check that too. So anyway, so I bought that, and it should be pretty simple. My bike takes just over 2 liters of oil. So if you get a 4 liter or 3 1 liters, it's pretty much going to do most bikes. What else have you got to know? Really, you're not going to need many tools. You're going to need to take off, depending on your bike, potentially half of your fairing, and screw a sun plug. With these though, don't use the power of Grayskull to tighten these things back up, because you just won't be taking them off. Next time you'll be stripping stuff. Pure nightmare. We'll see what mine's like when we get to it. But people do it different ways. You can warm the bike up. Most people would warm the bike up and then drop the oil and stuff like that. You can. If it's been sat there for the whole winter like mine has, I might just drop the oil cold, because it should all be sat in the bottom of the sump. Yeah, it's going to be thicker, the viscosity. It might not run out as quickly, but I'm pretty safe in saying that it's all at the bottom of the engine, to be honest. So I don't think I'm going to warm mine up. Sometimes I'll take it off of the rear stand, put it on the side stand, so just take the last little bit out, just depend on your bike. But yeah, should be pretty straightforward. Old oil out. A couple of little things that you want to remember is try and loosen the oil filler cap too, to allow more the oil to maybe flow a bit more freely, any airlocks and stuff. But when you take the sun plug off and then take off the oil filter, it's going to release the air anyway, so there's not that much pressure in there. Some people go over the top. It just depends. I mean, I road ride, I'm not racing or anything like that, so I don't know, there's people in the world just over the top, let's be honest. There's people that I ride with that they barely do any maintenance on their bike, they barely touch a thing and the thing still goes, it's still sweet. These Japanese, I mean probably all the sports bikes they're just really good. I mean, I look after mine, it's done quite a bit of miles, I have to, and I just choose to, because I want it to be nice and safe, and vice versa. So anyways, we do oil today, superstars. Stick with me for the rest of the videos. Hopefully it'll flow a bit more. Obviously it's warmer, the environment will be more bike-ish. I'll be doing more videos on that. Won't be doing any self-snitching, any riding on the roads and any of that kind of craziness. Hopefully I don't turn into that guy. Yeah, we're also going to do some of the car stuff too, so stick around. It should be pretty cool. I'm going to do a little bit of stuff in my brother's unit and stuff, but it should be sweet. I don't really want to involve too many people in it, because it's purely just like a passion thing for me, and just do it for you guys, just a couple of followers, you know how it is. Just enjoy it. It's weird. It is what it is. So stick with me, have a giggle, You know, slate me in the comments if you need to. If there's anything that I'm doing wrong, let me know. Always happy to learn, and yeah, watch a video, let me know what you think. Suzuki GSXR specific, it'll just be these three here, and then back here. And then do not forget this little bugger down here, because I nearly ripped that off. So that, and then there's sort of like a pop bun thing that keeps this bit of the fairing on. And then you're gonna have to yank it a bit, because I think one connects in here, just pops out. You just got to give it a bit of a tug. If you got a crash bung, that would have been in there, and you'll peel that off. So you're gonna get this. We're gonna get this fairing off the side, and then it should make the. Oh, it's just easy to get to the oil filter. I've got mine in a paddock stand, because your sump plug. I'm just not trying to oil on me, because then I'll be impressed with myself. Okay, so here's your sump plug. Let's get some focus so you can off here. Hello camera, today. Do you want to focus on that beast? Yeah, so this is your sump plug. Have we got a washer on there? Oh, come on. Play the game, camera. Okay, well I've invited the camera to the party, but it doesn't want to play. Nah, I don't think we've got a crush washer on there. But, never mind. Yeah, doesn't leak anyway. You can't see properly, superstars, because of the lighting. Okay, there we go. So that's what that is. Okay, you could drop, if you didn't do an oil, if you didn't do a filter change, you could just drop the oil, to be fair. It's not going to make, you know, you wouldn't need anything, you wouldn't need to move anything. That'll be fine, you can get to that. The reason why you're taking the fairing off is just so you can get to the oil filter. I think it's nigh on, but like you pretty much cannot, it's impossible to get to it without taking one of the side of the, you know, one fairing off one side. But don't take the whole lot off, you don't need to. Like I said, so I'm going to do mine on it's on the paddock stand at the moment. Excuse the garage, it's just a mess. I've got so much crap in it. Okay, but what you're going to want, you're going to want one of these, just for all the oil to drain in. You should have two and a bit litres. Now as you can see, this just fits under. So there's your sump plug, that's going to go into there. But what I do, which is slightly different maybe to others, you can see the sump plug there, that's maybe slightly different to other people, is I would once I drain most of it, you probably couldn't hear while I was scraping that along, I will take the bike off of the stand, and then I'll just put this little container underneath and just get the last little bit when it leans over. Just get all of it out. You would also, let's give you guys some. You see my face, you guys know how we roll. See this gorgeousness? Little rope hanging down there. Yeah, so what you would normally do is you could warm it up and stuff. I'm not warming mine up. Like I say, it's winter. I've had it away for the winter. You know, as fair weather riders. So yeah, it's been away for the winter. The oil should have all collected at the bottom. Theories are all different with regards to warming it up and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it's going to flow really nicely in that. But this thing's been sat for like 6 months, so all the water should be collected at the bottom. No, oil, hopefully, yeah. All the oil should be collected at the bottom of the engine. So, you know, if I crack the sump plug, I should get most of the old oil out. It shouldn't be a huge issue. And then, like I say, I'll lean it over. Yeah, it's going to be quite thick maybe because of the temperature. But like I say, just got to let's get the old oil out. Let's get the new oil in. It's a really, really quick job. 20 minutes max. So let me unscrew everything, get that all done for you, and then yeah, like I said, it's just one of the essential parts that I would do before I took my bike out in the summer. I would do that, like I said, spark plugs. Okay, people go a bit crazy at me because I'm pretty excessive with the spark plugs. I change them every season. You don't really need to do that at all, but I do. It also allows you to have a look at them and see how the bike's running. I'll also check the chain and yeah, tires as well, pressures and stuff. Okay, Superstars is method in the madness of this recording position, because you're pretty much going to be able to see most of it whilst I do it, hopefully. And there's some wind coming through the garage, so you probably can't even hear anything. Okay, so I'm going to take these off. You can't see these up here, but there's 3 of them. The old lefty loosey righty tighty, you know how it is. Take them off quick. Put them somewhere safe, like on the floor, so that you can just kick them and lose them. Jigsaw bro style, you know how it is. Yeah, and take your steering lock off so that you can get to this bolt. Or don't. Like I'm not. And then just take twice as long to do it. You know what it's like, lazy people have the most work and all that. Oh, come on now. That's that off. Okay, what's this done here? Well, that's a 17 mil, but we're not going to touch that yet. What size is that? Yeah, I lost this one before, so you'll see I've got some other bolts. Oh yeah, apologies in advance if you see any butt crack, because you can see a bit of that the way I'm leaning over. Okay, so we need to pop this little one down here. Involve a flathead screwdriver. Give me a sec, superstars. I'm just going to put a flathead screwdriver just to quickly pop this sort of pop bung down the bar. There we go. Let's pull that out. See what it gives. And then you release it, you pull it all down, right? Yeah, so pull all of it out down the bottom. Don't just yank it like I think I might have done previously and nearly broke it once. Okay, so yeah, we took that off, down the bottom, these three, and with a bit of tenderness, there we go, so there's a pop one there. There's popped in there. This you have to sort of, like these will pop off, right? He says. But you'll, here you sort of have to lever it a little bit. I've got one more, I think, haven't I? There's one. Yes. Yes. Give me a sec, I've got to pop one more down the bottom here. There we go. Let's pop one more out. I took the one from the furthest side. There we go. And then, like I say, here you just sort of mess with it. And it comes out. Oh, there's one inside the fairing in the front too. And it falls and scratches itself like that. And then I just lay my fairing upwards. I mean, it's scratched anyway, and that's the one that I popped out the front of that beast. And there we go, so this exposes this. Let me move you around. Okay, I'll move you around in a sec. Let's drop the oil, superstars. Can we see? Can we see? Yeah, you are presented with the bung there. Well, the bung, sorry, the sun plug. And we're gonna crack that. Should I put some gloves on? Give me a sec, let me put some on. Yeah, so got the gloves on, but more so that I don't get oil on myself. It's not hot or anything, so we don't need a freak out. Don't worry about that. Most people will warn you about the oil being hot because most people will mention up before, blah blah blah. Okay. Should be a lefty loosey righty tighty. Yeah, so I said should be lifting loosey righty tighty, and I go and tighten it on. What a legend. Yes, anyways, that's that. Okay, so it's, yeah, just roll the wind that off. Make sure I got the cap on there so this doesn't start leaking out. But I mean, there's no chance of it filling this whole thing anyway. It should be 2 and a bit litres. There we go. And you can do the old inspection. Yeah, we have no crusher washer in here, but who cares? YOLO, jigs are life, bro. You got a little bit of, there's some bits on there. Okay, so give me a sec, leave that on the side and move the camera for you so that you can see where the filter is. Okay, gangsters, back with a piece of paper towel. Now let's put some of that super power, we gotta put some of that power in. Put some of that below range. Dry some of this oil here. Okay, so you could grip it with the towel. Give it a bit of purchase, but I'm gonna put this, I'm putting the proper power into it. Going beast mode. Okay, I'm pulling it, like screwing it off, and I'm putting some serious power, and it ain't budging. Oh, there we go, cracked it off. Hello. Now, there is method behind the madness of warming up your engine before, evidently, because that would probably have loosened up slightly because it'll be warm and easier to unscrew. And I'm not going to screw it on that hard next time. It's meant to just be hand tight. How dirty. It's coming off though, gangsters. I'm going to give it a bit off, crack it off a bit more, and then I can use the gloves. Okay, because when you take these off, trust me, it gets messy. Okay, so what else we're gonna do here? What else was I gonna say? I'm gonna pop around to the other side of the engine and take off the cap, the oil filler cap. So give me a sec. When I take the oil filler cap off, maybe it'll unlock like a tiny bit of oil from somewhere, but won't be anything spectacular. But you always just do that because of the vacuum or whatever. Once I've cracked this off, obviously there won't be a vacuum, but okay, you can see a slight bit of oil just dripping. It's not even touching the headers. Not the headers, the exhaust pipe yet. There we go. Now, if I screw it off quick enough, so if I get it there, we're not touching the exhaust yet. Okay, I'll touch it slightly with my fingers, but nothing's happening. So if the overflow can just come off. I mean, look at that's actually nice colour. Check. This oil, like I said, I do quite a bit of maintenance on it, but it's a slight bit of darkness to it, but look at it, still black, sort of goldenish. It's not very, very dirty. Ah, shit. Fuck that up. Ah, swearing. Don't want to swear. Trying not to sweat. Sorry, superstars. Nobody needs my potty mouth. Oh, you dirty. Oh. Oh. But see, can you see the colour of it? It's not very dirty, is it? That's a testament to the amount of black stuff I do on the bike, really, and I clean it and I look after it, really. It's the only way to get the thing to last. But check all that. Pretty impressive, right? Look at the colour of that. To the whole season. Sweet. You know. Okay, so I had that on the side. I want to try and describe to you that this video is only tailoring towards people who don't have a clue like me. If you know your bike stuff, you ain't watching this, you don't really care, and you're just having a bit of a giggle at my potential incompetence at parts. But what you're sort of looking for, if it's focusing enough, I don't really know. But I left mine on purpose just so you could sort of see. There's like tiny shards of metal there. And that's okay, right? You just don't want big chunks. You do not want big chunks of metal in there, because then it's pretty much just telling you that you've got sort of huge problems in your engine, which you'd probably know if there was big chunks of stuff. I don't know, you'd probably know by now anyway. But yeah,
It's just something to look at. So let's wipe it off. Yeah, just tiny bits. You want to clean this off too, by the way. Like, you don't want to put this back in with those bits stuck onto it. Yeah, and I'll just give that a little clean. I'll clean it a little bit more. I'll get you some fresh towel. And that's that. Okay, so as you saw, there was not a crush washer on mine. Now, the crush washer, see, I'm assuming you don't need to put too much pressure, and it's normally like a copper or softer metal, so that it creates a nice seal. I don't know what damage it's doing taking this straight into the engine, like straight into the sump. I don't know. Maybe it's ruining the alloy a little bit. I wouldn't know. You know what the long-term effects are of not using a crush washer here, or if this is. No, that does not remove from the bolt. So as you can see, it didn't leak or anything like that, but there's obviously a reason to use a crush washer. I'll let you mechanics and you superstars out there tell me why, and yeah, let me know. But I have taken we've taken the oil filter off, some plugs out. You'll clean around where the oil filter was. I mean, it's pretty, engine's a little bit obviously dirty from the season, but I'll clean around the edge, because you don't want to put a fresh filter on to like a dirty edge. It just won't mate up and won't seal properly. Make sure you haven't left a rubber seal behind on there, depending on how long your bike was done, but generally that's not happening, but it can. Like I said, let me pop around to the other side of the bike and unscrew the filler cap. Okay, so that's the bit that I'm going to clean around. It's pretty clean as it is, but that's where your filter would go on. Just thought I'd give you a bit of zoomage so you can see what's kicking off, but it's generally pretty clean. You're not going to see this when I try and clean inside there, so I'm just doing this for you for now. And then around here, I'll just clean around that, and I'll pop the sun plug back in, and we should be all good, but you'll just see this from a bit further away. Okay, so here's the oil filter. I think the part number changed, so they do it, this one replaces the old one, if I'm correct. Here's your part number down the bottom. Yeah, pretty. The one that's in there was a high flow aftermarket branded one. That's oil I use. You can see the light in the background. I'm trying to get that lighting right, you know how you roll. So it's a 10 watt 40. I like this oil, I've tried a few, and bike does really well, and it sounds nice, feels smooth. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What I do slightly different to others is people will rub the old oil filter against the new ones, put oil on it. I'm sort of get it, but what's the point of really cleaning it and going through that effort and then rubbing? You pretty much neglect. You neglect. Well, not neglect. You sort of negate. What was the reason before? You know, why would you clean around where the old oil filter was, and you go rub a dirty? You rub the dirty old one on the fresh one. Then all the sand and all the rubbish around it's going to be in there. So there's no point cleaning that. You may as well just screw it straight on where the old oil is there. So yeah, that's just me. So we juice this up. Juicing it up. Okay, oil changes. I mean, I'm talking you through it and talking a load of crap and stuff like that, which is making it take longer, but this is really quick normally, and it seems pretty criminal to. I bet you mechanics feel like criminals charging people to do an oil change and change a filter, because it literally is that easy. I can do it. Okay, screw this new one on. It's pretty cool because the threads are really tight, like really close together, and they're pretty easy to know if you're cross threading them or not. Goes on really smooth. Let me just check if I'm touching the engine. Sorry, I'm struggling here because of the way I'm recording. The camera's in the way, basically. One doth not have a assistant. Okay, so it's going on pretty smooth now. I'm not putting too much juice into it. But once I get juicy and it gets tough, I'm just going to nip it once. I think we're all good there. The problem is I put the power of Grayskull into them normally, and you don't need the power of Grayskull to tighten it up. You never want to summon the power of Grayskull for no reason. Never. And then you guys will be laughing at me if I get an oil leak. Superstars. Okay, well I'm back. Seepage has stopped. Let's clean this up. Okay. Yeah, so we clean all that up. Yeah, I want this to be nice and clean because to hold the phone, I'm not going to use a crush washer. Okay, so there we go, so that's that. Okay, so what you want to do when we fill it, I'm going to take it off of this paddock stand. But let's just move this out the way. Let's dry this. Got oil everywhere. Okay, so that's that. Get some gloves on, it was so messy yesterday. You want to try and look after this too, you don't want to be putting it on the floor and stuff. Yes, that's that. Sort of inspect it, make sure we haven't got any sand and any bits in there. Just double check that. Cleaned it up yesterday, but you never know. Okay. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to cross-take one of these, but you'll know if you are. Righty-tighty. So yes, I get it to about that. You can't use power of Grayskull, to be honest with you. Yeah, it should be sweet. Yeah, let's give it a little nip. I'll end up I tighten things too much, too hard sometimes, and I break stuff. So we'll just get a bit soft. I mean, if it starts to leak, you're okay because you don't need to take off the whole fairing and stuff. You can just nip it up a little bit more. So you don't need to really panic about that. Just inspect it, like use your brains basically. Like this stuff isn't too much of a mission, guys. Like seriously, it's really basic. Just be observant. The oil filter, okay, if you don't tighten down enough, you have to take the side of the fairing off and, you know, nip it up a little bit more, but that's actually not too bad. Okay, so now the rest of it, the filling part, you probably can't hear me, it's really, really windy. But, okay, so the rest of it, the filling part, we're going to have it off with the paddock stand. So you bung it off the paddock stand, we'll do everything on the side stand with the filling, because when you stand it up, when you're looking through the side glass on the side, you want it to be halfway. Like I said, it takes like just over 2 litres. So you'll fill it, you'll get it to roughly halfway, and then people tell you to obviously start it, and then, you know, because the oil level will drop. That's obvious in a sense, because think the oil filter has to take it's going to take some of the oil away, but look at the capacity of the oil filter, it's not massive, so you'll eyeball it, you'll get it pretty right. But then, you know, like I say, once it's warmed down, leave it a little bit so the oil does settle, then take a reading again, because don't just, you know, warm it up and then, you know, straight away chuck oil in it. Just let it settle a little bit and then double check. Even if you're overfilled, you can loosen the bolt slightly at the bottom. It's not the end of the world, so don't panic, okay? It's pretty easy. Okay, so let's take it off this. Just remember, pop your side stand down, because if it goes south, you can always just lean it. Like whenever I pop it off of the stand, I just lean it towards me. But once you've got hold of the paddock stand, you normally are pretty sweet. Yeah, but just do that in front of that. Yeah, if you got hold of the paddock stand, you should be all great. Really. Lean it towards you. All good. Let's lean it on my leg. That's it done, so we take it off of that. Okay, I reckon this is probably going to be the best view for you guys to see. Here's your window, it's a view, so you want to be about halfway through that. Filler, and here's the oil. So now I'm on, when I set this flat, it sits at around, so that's 2.5, so it's sitting around here. And it takes 2,200 mil, so I should be pretty sweet taking into account the oil filter too. So I could pretty much dump that whole lot in. I might just save a little bit off the end, but we'll pour it in the sea. What do you guys think? So with regards to the funnel, clean all the inside because it'll have stuff sitting in there, and then clean the outside here too, which goes into the engine. Main premise is you obviously don't want stuff in there. Filter will catch a lot, but if it doesn't catch it, then it goes through the engine and it'll bugger it up. So yeah, just things like that, super stuff. So you pop that in there. Let's see if maybe zoom you out now. Who cares? Yeah, make sure you're chucking in the right oil. Mine's 1040. And yet make sure you put your sun plug in and you've tightened on your oil filter, or it'll be quite funny because everything will start pouring out the bottom of the engine. I've never actually taken the time to notice if it fills the... Oh, there we go, it's already starting. See it pouring down? Try and see if I can zoom in for you, because you can actually see it. Let's keep our focus. Let's see what it gives. Guess we'll probably hear the wind out there. Wow. Let's see what point I've got to on this thing of oil. Okay, so when you put about 1 litre in so far, I'll be looking. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you don't want to be halfway up the looking glass on the side stand because remember it's leant over. I try and sit the bike up straight. I'm going to do that at the end. But I know if I put 2 litres in there, I'll definitely be good. Okay. Let's see if you can actually see it registering on the looking glass. Okay, and I'm not going to tip it with that, with the funnel in. Give me a second. Let's see if I can stand it up. Yeah, you want to make sure you haven't got stuff in the way because this can get slightly heavy. See, a little bit. Can you see oil everywhere yet? tiny bit maybe at the bottom. Yeah, we safe to put some more in still. Yeah, you see when you stand it up, it's not really showing. Remember when you lean it back over, just be careful. Nothing's going to go drastically wrong, but you don't want your side stand to flick back over. Yeah, most people will turbo through this point and they'll just dump loads of oil, and I'm just taking my sweet time. Yeah, to be honest, I'm wanting to see something, hopefully around about now. I wanted to show. You lean over a bit more towards myself and see if we even get anything. Oh wow. Okay, just dump the rest of it. Yeah, like I say, yes, it's easy enough, you can't get it that far wrong. And even if you do put too much in, you can always take some at the bottom with that sump plate. And the funny thing is though, when you get towards the top, it feels really quick, so just be vigilant really. I'm just going to dump the last little bit in here. Let's get a little tip. I'm going to tip this quickly with the funnel in, because I know you guys are probably getting annoyed. It's taking a while. If you guys can even hear me properly. I just don't want the funnel to fall out. Oh, there we go. Cool. Nope. What was that? Just a shadow? Yeah, there we go. Start seeing that level? See it moving? Okay, so now the bike is, yeah, it's pretty much straight up. Okay, cool. Put a tiny bit more in. It hasn't all settled to the bottom anyway whilst it's coming down, but we will definitely lose some in the filter. So I'm safe to put the rest of this in. Empty this out. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to start the bike here in the garage. Pretty windy and the garage door's open, so I might not poison myself. But I might just roll it out quickly, warm it up, and then get back with you guys. So, yeah. Gonna warm. Next process is warming it up. Whether I record it or not will be, you know, you'll know once you watched it, I suppose. Okay, well yeah, started in the garage. Got a little bit of carbon dioxide poisoning, but hey. Okay, so let's see what happened. Yeah, so it took up quite a bit of oil, see? It's not even showing. So I personally don't run the bike for ages, just a little bit, just to get the oil, because you know, if the thing's running low on oil, I don't want it to just keep idling there and wearing stuff away. That's my theory behind it. But let's give it a little bit settle, and then we'll chuck some oil in, because as you can see, there's nothing showing up on that even when I lean it. I can't see, but yeah, even when I lean it over, there's nothing there. So we'll put a little more. We'll give it a sec. Just to rest. Let's get the other bottle open and start that. Yes, let's pop a tiny bit more oil in. Let's see what it gives. I mean, that I barely put any oil in then, to be honest. I don't know if it'll do anything. Okay, cool. Okay, so we are. So there we go, we're about upright. Yeah, it's cool. Let's put a little trickle more in, and I'll be happy. It might have, yeah, I hope I didn't go overkill then, just to be honest. Yeah, I think we're all good. I could put maybe a tiny bit more. Nah, let's go. Now I'm keen to warm it up properly, and then we'll see what we're sitting with. Now let me do a proper warm up. Okay, so try and describe to you properly. So I warmed up. I just just pretty much started with like a minute or so just to get the oil to quickly run around the engine and get into the oil filter. Then, well, now I've gone to just under halfway, and now I'll warm the bike up properly because now I'm pretty happy that there's oil in the filter, and there'll be oil around the engine. And now it's a true reading, in my opinion. If that's right, I don't know, but that's just my thought process behind it. It's popping. I'll put a tiny bit of oil around here, and a little bit of oil around there, just to make this smooth, to get this, because this can be quite a nightmare, this oil filler cap to get off sometimes. So I just do that, and I don't do it too tight, just nip it. And now start it properly, and then we'll properly let it warm up. This can be loud. Okay, so now I've left the bike to warm up for quite a while, and now whilst I'm busy getting poisoned from the smoke, it's too cold outside the garage superstars. Let's have a little tip. Yeah, there we go. So that was just over standing up, so that's straight. Looks like we're halfway. Yep. You know, jigsaw bro. Okay, so now we're gonna go flip the bike around, double check sun plug, oil filter, make sure we've got no seepage, because when it gets warm that stuff loosens up, and you know how it is. So let's double check that quickly, pop all the bits back on, and then superstars, that is your first bit, your easiest bit, one of the most, most important maintenance bits to do on your bike. Okay, so we did the old switcheroonie. Pop this, and plug it back on it. Back on the paddock stand. Oh, put the power down. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's that. Let's pull the bits back on. Have we got any seepage? Let's check. I think you guys have stayed free of butt crack on this build or video. But that's actually warm. There is bits of oil everywhere, but I don't think it's from that. It's from me just being messy. Get a fresh cloth and give it a wipe, and then let's check. Okay, so wipe around. I'm gonna try. No, that's nothing to it. I'm just wiping that because it's irritating me how messy it is. I'm gonna try. Wipe around the bottom, obviously check. Let's take a fresh bit of cloth, towel. No seepage. It could be a pretty, you can come back to your bike tomorrow and double check it. I'll leave it on the paddock stand now still, because I haven't got, there's not much air in that back tyre. I hope I haven't got a slow puncture, because it's literally a brand new tyre. You can see all the bits on it. Brand new tyre put on just at the end of last season, so that'll make me sweat, I ain't gonna lie, if that's flat. And yeah, everything's very warm, so yeah, if anything was gonna leak, it was gonna leak now. Oil filter looks pretty sweet too, but yeah, everything is definitely up to temperature. Pop all the bits back on. It's the same as it coming off. Trying to make this video quick because I do ramble on. So let me stop you there. Yeah, say everything back on. Make sure that's tight enough. Do not be tempted to nip this up now while it's warm, because the warm metal, it'll nip up, but you are not taking it back out. So just do not touch it now. You have to just have faith in yourself and leave it. Okay, you have done it. It's sweet. And yeah, just have confidence in yourself. Double check it on your first ride. Do not ride too far. And yeah, we're all good. That was nice and easy. I made it look difficult, but you know how we roll. Okay, superstars, so yeah, that's that done. Oil's changed, just remember to warm it up correctly, and you can always empty it, so don't panic. Yeah? You just don't want to put too little oil in.